This is John for the Everyday Fan Sports. Today I have the pleasure of being on the beat with softball player Maddie Kapsimalis of Dayton. How are you, Maddie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Let's start off with when did you start playing softball and what position did you start?
So I started playing baseball. So I played t-ball and then played baseball up until third grade when I switched to softball. And then in fourth grade, I started playing travel softball. And I actually started at third base. I played that for a while and then shortstop for most of my life. And then in college, I've played second base and shortstop.
Now, when you were in high school, you had a ridiculously good career. You hit 704, which I guess is the eighth best ever in Illinois. When you had that season, like how did it did every time when you were at batting, did you feel like you were just going to get a hit?
Um, I don't know. I was just trying to do the best that I could. I didn't really know any of those numbers until after the fact because I was just focused on having the best season I could and doing the best for my team. So after it was kind of cool to see that, but I didn't realize while it was happening.
Does that put pressure on you then to duplicate that in your next season?
No, I don't think so.
And I know your father. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack for 1 second. You said you wanted to play two sports in high school. You wanted to play basketball and softball. You had your own reasons. Did you get everything you wanted out of playing both of those, whatever your reasons were?
Yeah, I loved playing both sports. I played basketball for 3 years in high school. I ended up not playing my senior year just because softball was pretty a lot. I've spent a lot of time doing softball and I wanted to get ready for college, but it was great playing both sports. I think it definitely helped me with just athleticism and being in good shape from basketball too.
So I was gonna say, did one sport help the other?
Yeah, I definitely think that playing basketball helped me be more athletic for softball.
And when you went to college, then your first year, what was the biggest transition? What was the hardest part of the transition from high school ball to college ball?
It was a lot different of a pace because with a conference series, you were playing 3 games in the 2 days. And I think the biggest difference was that teams actually scout you. So when you're playing high school or travel softball, teams aren't really like watching to see, where to pitch you and stuff. So when you get to college and they actually know those things, I think it makes it more difficult.
No, this season you had a fantastic season. It was your first season at Dayton, but your second season of college ball. You flirted with 400. You were hitting like 390 going late in the season. It had kind of a rough ending, but you still finished with a fantastic season of hitting 358. Um, Again, as you're going through that, did you have any idea of how good of a season you were hitting, or is your mind just so focused on each individual game that you don't even think about that?
Yeah, I try to focus on just each at bat at a time, just kind of being where my feet are and being present in the moment. Because once you try and look too far ahead, it's like got to focus on one at bat at a time.
And I know when you guys played Loyola, it didn't turn out as you wanted, but like I know that you had your father was there, your godfather was there, I was there. I know you had a kind of a small following at the game because it was local. Um, how exciting for you was that to play in front of your basically your hometown?
It was really nice for my family to all be able to come because it was close. Because usually, I mean, every game I've played up until that point has not been anywhere near here. So it was really cool for them to all be able to come.
And when you guys are out playing in different cities, do you get a chance to check out the city at all, or is it just mostly focused just at the ballpark?
Usually we have a pretty tight itinerary because we have a lot to do to stay focused for our games. So once in a while we'll get to do something in the city, but we're really focused on just winning those games.
And so now that you're going into your junior year, your third year, how much pressure is there any pressure on you to, you had a great season this year. So like what do you do in the off season to keep that going? Is it something you think about, trying to top this season?
Well, for the off season, I just keep doing what I've been doing because it's been working. And then I don't see it as pressure because I have a lot of great teammates as well. So we all kind of lean on each other for that and just do the best we can to be the best team we can.
And going into your third season now, you're an upperclassman. Um, is there anything you're going to do differently as like taking over a little bit more of a leadership role on the team?
I think that'll be something that I kind of see as it goes, but I think definitely leading by example, showing younger players, how we do it at Dayton. And I think that I've had really great leaders on the team that I was on this year, so they've been able to show us. So, and we have a lot of those same people coming back. So we have a lot of great leaders to begin with.
So now I have to ask you the really tough question. What's your choice? The defensive gem that saves the game or the game winning home run?
Um, That's a tough one. Probably the defensive gem because you're out there with your whole team and it's just really exciting when everyone's surrounding you.
And I know your father, I've known your father for a long time. He's obviously a coach. I don't know if he coached, did he ever coach you in softball?
He did when I was young, yeah.
Was that like kind of a cool thing to have your dad coaching, or is that kind of like because you were young, was that kind of cool or was that kind of not cool?
Well, he's always been I'm my biggest critic, but he's always been my biggest fan and biggest critic too. So it was tough when I was younger just because we both expected so much of me. But it's gotten better as I've gotten older.
Does he still give you batting tips?
He tries. He does his best. He videotapes my bats for me so I can watch them and figure out what happened.
No, he's a good guy. He always speaks very, very highly of you. And I noticed that you've had at least three different numbers from high school, college, and your other, I'm sorry, Drexel and Dayton. You've had 21, 19, and 6. Was there any reason behind your numbers?
I've been I was 21 at Drexel and then I was 19 at Dayton. 19 wasn't available at Drexel, but I've been that most of my life just because my birthday is June 19th.
Okay. Well, happy pre-birthday. It's
Thank
about
you.
20, 30 or so days. I can't count. Yeah, it's too early. Um, are there any softball players that you look up to, whether in the pros or in college or even high school? Any specific players that you kind of emulate or really liked?
Um, I wouldn't say any specific players, but just watching softball on TV like these past couple weeks and then going forward this weekend, these games are just so fun to watch because the game is growing so much and there's going to be some really great games on this weekend too.
Have you thought about once you're done playing in college? I don't know if you could play 5 years. I don't know with the whole COVID exemption, all that, but have you thought about your future plans after that, staying in softball in any fashion?
I have not yet. I'm just trying to enjoy these college years while I can and make the most of them.
Smart. Smart. Do you follow it all? Do you follow any of the pro softball leagues? I know there's two leagues out there now. Do you follow any of that at all?
I went to one of the Athletes Unlimited games last summer, and that was really cool to watch because they're just such great athletes. But I really like watching college softball.
So I have to answer, when you're at the AU league, they have a different scoring system. As a player, would that be something that appeals to you, or do you like the traditional softball game better?
I think I'm so used to the traditional, but I think it would just have to be something you adapt to and learn because it was kind of confusing when you're watching. You're like, how does this work? But they all seem to be really enjoying playing there. So I'm sure once you adapt to it.
No, believe me, I followed it for 4 years, and the scoring system still confuses me. But
Yeah.
in the end, it's still softball, and I love softball, so it's always fun. I have to ask you a more of a serious topic now. You're a very courageous person. You're a very inspirational person. You were diagnosed with diabetes at a very young age, yet you continued playing all sports. Can you talk a little bit about your struggles?
Yeah, so I got diabetes when I was 6. So I've had it for 13 years now. And my parents have just been so helpful with everything. Like ever since I was younger, they've been so supportive. And I've been able to keep playing these sports because from a young age, I just, learned what I was supposed to do. And now it's just part of my routine.
But I mean, you say it like it's part of your routine, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Like I was reading your different interview from you. You talked a little bit about like what exactly. I know you have to check your sugar levels and all that. Like, what exactly does that mean throughout a season or a game?
Yeah, so I have a continuous glucose monitor, which gives me my blood sugar. So I also have to test my blood sugar to make sure that's accurate. So I'm doing that before and during the game, just so make sure I'm at a good level, because if it's too high or too low, I can't be playing. So I have to continuously check that. And then if it's high, give myself insulin. And then if it's low, I have to eat something with sugar in it. So having to monitor that at all times it's a lot. And making sure during the games is a lot, especially when you play two games in one day, it's a lot, it's a long time. So just staying on top of my blood sugars to make sure I'm in the best position to be playing.
And does that in a way does that diminish, or not, I shouldn't say diminish, in a way does that really heighten your level of play, because like you've got to focus on that, and then you've got to still focus on softball.
I mean, I don't know it any other way because that's how I've always done it. So I don't think so. I think that I'm just as capable as anyone else because I'm so used to um, dealing with this disease and making sure my blood sugars are good. So I think since I've been doing it for so long, it's just like a second nature to me.
Well, obviously you're doing it right, because again, you hit 358 the season. You had another fantastic season, so you are doing things the correct way, and you're an inspiration to everybody that watches you. When you're not concentrating on softball, when you're not focused on trying to improve your game, what do you like to do just to get away from everything?
Well, during the school year, it's very, very busy with softball, but obviously I love hanging out with my teammates, and then I love to travel. So I'm really excited because on June 2nd, my family and I are going to Italy, so that's going to be a really cool
Very
break from everything.
That's cool. Some
Yeah.
good stories to tell. I'll have to ask you for an interview then to hear your Italy stories.
Yeah.
Listen, Maddie, before I let you go, is there any place you want to tell your followers to check you out online? Is there any social media or anything you want to promote?
Just keep watching Dayton softball. We'll be back next season.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You guys have a very good team. You had three
Yeah.
three of the top hitters, obviously, including yourself. Three of the top hitters in the league. I think three of you finished in the top eight, which is amazing. I was really impressed with the team out there. You guys seem like excellent coaches. You all seem like excellent, very nice players. You're all very polite and a lot of fun bunch. So I wish you a lot of luck. I'll be out there next season. I'll be cheering for you, and I really appreciate your time. And have fun in Italy, and we'll catch you next season.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate it. Say hi to your dad.
I will.
Take care.
You too.